Good morning, Mazuka Bwanji, buenos dias, guten Morgen, Dieguit. I am Eamonn O'Leary and I teach Spanish. Although that's the standard response to that question, right? Like, what do you teach? And I always say Spanish because it makes sense. But actually, I teach children. And I say that because that's really why I come to school. I think Spanish is great. I love it. I'm actually doing a master's in Spanish at the moment. And I think it would be wonderful if all of my students learn Spanish really well. But actually, what I would prefer is that they learn how to learn a language so that in the future, if they want to, as I have in my life, learn additional languages as an adult, that they know how and that they have the confidence that they can do it. But even more than that, what I want them to learn, what I want to be a part of, is helping my students, all the students at BMIS, learn how to live well. And I mean that in the sense of learning how to know what their values are and to figure out how to live those values, to know how to live in community with other people, like how to help one another, and how to ask for help. And I think fundamentally to know that we're all learning all the time. You know, I often think there are only a few things we actually are all born in knowing how to do. And it's like eat, sleep, a few other functions like that. But everything else, we learn. And that's why I come to work, because I think it's a really valuable way to spend my time. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate about BMIS is that it's very much at the forefront of what we're trying to do as a community. To me, it's in the mission. And yeah, that's why I come to work. Why would anyone choose to learn another language? I actually think the question is, why would anybody not choose to learn another language? Because there are so many things that it does for you. And there's a lot of evidence out there that it's very good for your brain. It's very good for keeping your brain healthy as you age and all of these other things. But I think, and just from my personal experience, every time I've learned a language, to any degree, right, whether a few words or fluency, I start to uncover another side of myself. Because I think that different languages are different ways of perceiving and different ways of not confronting, but being in the world, different ways of being in the world. And I think every time you expose yourself to another way of thinking about and being in the world, you start to grow. I mean, it's almost inevitable. So there are all these really practical reasons for learning a language, right? And I actually have a grade 10 taster session later on today where I'll be telling them about how if you have at least a second language, or a third or a fourth, there are so many more employment opportunities, there are so many places in the world you can go. There are all these limitations that don't exist anymore because, especially once you've learned the second language, you know you can learn the third one, and then it's just a question of time and application. But for me, yeah, it's those more intangible reasons where when you learn how other people communicate, or about how other people communicate, and you start to communicate with them, it just expands and makes more rich your own internal world. And I just think that's a really nice thing to have in your life. I actually just keep learning in my free time. Since I've been here, I've learned a little bit of Chichewa. I'm still working on it. I'm learning the guitar at the moment. As I said before, I'm doing a master's in Spanish. And there's really no end to it. I genuinely hope that the last day I learn anything is the day I die. Muchísimas gracias. Que tengan muy buen día.